10 years. It's been a tough 10 years. It's been 10 years with a lot of laughter, tears, success, failures, you know, but I think overall it's been a real good 10 years for, you know, as everybody in this group. We've gone a very long way. You know, you want to just welcome Brian up here too? Brian. For those who don't know, Brian is a co-founder here at Forex. He handles a lot of the sales, marketing efforts, accounting, just a lot of the admin stuff too. We started Forex, you know, on, well, we're saying it's on July 4th, 10 years ago, Independence Day. That was Independence Day for us, and basically what it really was just us finding an opportunity to start something for ourselves. We came from a company called Express Copy, and Express Copy was a web-to-print company. And we had built this real strong reputation in the industry, and we were recognized as one of the best, you know, web-to-print companies in probably the whole world. You know, creating an automation system from start all the way to finish. So Brian and I, you know, and a couple of other people, we decided to start Forex. And back then, it wasn't called Forex Web Design or Forex Commerce. It was Forex Print Bridge. So, you know, we created this software where it allowed, you know, printing companies just to automate their processes all the way from start all the way to their presses. And basically, we found a lot of success within the first 2 weeks. Within the first 2 weeks, we had a $500,000 contract, and we were able to sell licenses without, you know, without even having a software, just based off of our reputation only. And we thought starting a business was very easy, you know. I think part of our plan was, you know, well, we'll make $10 million within the first year or so, and 10 years later, still no $10 million, right? But no, actually things that went really bad at a point where, you know, in 2008, the economy crashed, the US went through a recession, and our contracts started to disappear. And basically at that point, we had to decide, do we want to go find another job, or do we want to keep on going? And you know, we decided to keep on going. We started building websites for $1,000. You know, you basically got everything, $1,000. An e-commerce site, $2,000. A custom site, $6,000, right? You know, but just to think about that right now and to look back, you know, I think we just sold 2 projects in the last 2 days. One for $275,000, one for $200,000, and you know, this is really becoming the new trend for us. So, yeah, we've really come a long way. Well, look, why don't you come up as well? Come up. So let me tell you a story about Lun. Lun is our second employee at Forex. He applied as a developer, and you know, we were doing Skype interviews, and one of our requirements was you must speak English, because we had staff working with us, and we wanted to make sure that, you know, all the developers spoke good English. So we're interviewing Lun, and basically it went like this: "Hey Lun, what does MVC stand for?" And Lun would go, blah, 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 you know? And I'm like Skyping to, you know, Sam, and I go, what the fuck did he just say? I guess it makes sense, okay? And you know, and then, again, what's the difference between an object and a class? And Lun goes, blah, 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 you know? And we go, what the fuck again did he say? And well, we looked at his resume, and he worked. He built a website for a company that was in our industry, and we're like, well, if he can build a website within that, for that company, he can definitely build a website for us. And we decided to hire Lun because the risk was extremely low. He only cost us $300 a month. So there was almost no risk at all, right? So worst case scenario, we just give him $300 and he sits on the corner somewhere. Okay, so we hired him, and it didn't take me very long to realize that Lun was not a very good programmer. Okay, so we had to find a new position for him. And there was this one occasion that I remember, right? We had this female programmer, and we had to fire her. And Lun goes up to the Vietnam manager, and he's all upset, and he doesn't understand why we had to let her go. And he says, I want to fight you right now. Go, let's go downstairs and fight. Can you imagine him wanting to fight with anybody? He's probably the nicest guy ever, and he wanted to fight this guy. But at that moment, I realized, it's about people, right? It's making sure that you take care of people, and to make sure that you feel and protect the people around you. And that's when I realized, hey, Lun is a good guy to build around. All right. Tata, come up. Come up. I have a story about Tata too. So Tata's interview was a lot different. All right. Back then, it was extremely difficult to find any designers in Vietnam. We looked at people's portfolios, and the portfolios were horrible. We would have these big welcome signs, on the website, and then these disco lighting effects on the welcome page, and then all these animations dancing around and things like that. And we're never gonna find a designer in Vietnam. And then we saw Tata's portfolio, and I was very excited because it was a beautiful portfolio. So I'm excited. I want to do this interview as quickly as possible and ask some basic questions. Why Forex, right? Why do you choose Forex? And she's quiet. She doesn't say anything. It's like, does she speak English? Does she not speak English? Or does she have Skype problems? And I'll ask another question, and she's quiet again, and she doesn't say anything. I'm like, man, it's so difficult already to find a designer, but the designs do look pretty. So let's just go ahead. That was probably the shortest interview ever. I think it only took 2 minutes, and we already made a decision. Not because she was great, but because she didn't say anything. So we cut it short, and I'm talking to Seth, and I go, man, that was probably the worst interview ever. Or perhaps the best interview ever, because, you can fuck up so many times by saying the wrong things, right? So, just off of her designs, we just decided, just to hire her. And I think that was one of our best decisions ever, because, Forex is known for creating one of the best designs, in this Magento, industry. Who's next? Nguyen, come on, Nguyen, come on up. Okay, Nguyen. So Nguyen, he is probably the few guys that I started to like very quickly, Probably one, he learns very fast. I think Nguyen, quickly adapted, new technologies. He's a very fast programmer, and then two, he likes to gamble, and I really like to gamble as three, as well, right? And then three, of course, he likes to go to healthy massages. Right? So, Nguyen, I think everybody knows that Nguyen is probably one of the few people that is always open, you know, and he's always been like that for me, and he's always taken me around, especially in the early days. So thank you. Kelly, come up. Kelly's probably the first employee that I saw cry. She stayed at my house when she was in the U.S. And on the way back to I'm taking her to the airport back to Vietnam, and she cries. And she goes, "Anu, you've been so nice, and nobody's ever been that nice to me." And she cries and she cries and she cries, and she goes, "Not even my family has been this good to you." And she keeps on crying, and I go, "Come on, can you just shut the fuck up?" Because I just want to drive, and I just want to get to the airport, and I get to the airport, and I go, here's your luggage, and you can go up, and I just want to get out. I didn't want her to make a big scene at the airport. But Kelly, she's basically held every position here at the company. She started as a QA, she's done BA, she's built up the mobile team, she's done built up some of the Magento teams, and she's basically done everything. She's succeeded at everything that she's done, and now she's the operations manager, and we really look forward to creating processes that makes everybody's lives easier. Am I missing anybody? Juan, where's Juan? Juan, it took me a long time to recruit Juan. Juan worked part-time with us at Forex, probably for maybe 1 or 2 years or something like that. Yeah, and he worked for IBM at that time. And every time I'd come back, I'd try to recruit him, and he's like, "No, I don't want to fucking work for Forex. And I'm working for IBM. Why should I work for Forex?" I go, but one day he came to us and he asked, "Yeah, I want to work for Forex." But mainly because IBM was moving into Saigon, and he didn't want to take the drive, and he could work from home. But actually now he's working. He's driving to Saigon every day, so it didn't really work out for him. But the funny thing about Juan is, it took him 4 hours. He was working part-time, so every night he was working 4 hours, and it took him 4 hours to build a whole site, from scratch to finish, and we'd be done. And now he's charging our clients 4 hours for a text change on Magento. So, things have definitely changed here at Forex. I think there are a couple more people here missing, Nyung and Tao. It's sad to see. Oh, Tom. Tom. No, come up, Tom. Sorry. I think Tom is probably one of the reasons why you guys are all here. So when we were doing our website for $1,000, we had a client come up to us and said, "We want to build a website that can handle millions of SKUs and hundreds of storefronts. And we want to build it on Magento." And back then, we're like, "Whoa, we were doing $1,000 to $2,000 websites. Well, we'll take it on. And I think we bid like $60,000, and that was a lot of money for us. It's probably $1 million worth right now. But I didn't even know what Magento was. And so we're posting a job up on Magento, and nobody applies, and I'm starting to worry because we can't find any Magento developers. And so there's only one person that applied for that position, and that was Tom. And I think during that time, I probably had one of the best times, here at Forex. We were working with Kui and June, right? With June, right? And Guan on the Paytm store. And every night we'd go on, and Kui, I don't know if some of you guys have worked with Kui, but he was always like, "Fuck this, fuck that," and he was always yelling. And he's probably the person that taught me all the bad Vietnamese words like "oh my man," God, shit like that. You know, but I had so much fun during that time. We worked extremely hard, but we built this website in 4 months. We built it in 4 months. You know, we built this huge system in 4 months, and to date, we still use, you know, the patron store as a success story here at Forex, right? And again, it's sad to see that Tao and Newmar aren't here, but you know, they did come at a time when, you know, everything was disorganized, and you know, and the quality wasn't as good, and I think they really helped us get that quality up and, you know, get us organized. And I know some of you guys, you know, they push quite a bit, and it's tough to work with, you know, them sometimes. But I'm sure that they've made everybody in this room better programmers, or, you know, better QAs or developers. So, you know, again, I can probably come up with a story, you know, about each one of you here. But, you know, you guys have all played a great role, you know, I mean, a huge role in the success of Forex. And, you know, I just want to thank you, and I'm sure Brian wanted, you have anything to add?
Yeah, we can't thank you enough. The funny thing is, I can't believe we made it 10 years. Some days we did not think we were going to make it 10 days. So thank you guys for really allowing us to all be one team, and for all the good work you do. Really, we could not make this happen without you. So thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Cảm ơn Phan anh ơi. Tất cả các anh mình đứng lại sân khấu tí xíu quý vị nha. Xin mời anh Ngữ nán lại sân khấu tí xíu. Cảm ơn toàn thể tất cả quý vị rất là nhiều. Minh Trí đứng ở trong đó, em không hiểu thiệt, dạ. Em nghe em không biết gì hết. Nhưng mà Minh Trí con xin phép chúc cho công ty Phan lúc nào cũng phát triển hết quý vị nha. Và chúng ta sẽ có kỷ niệm 20 năm, kỷ niệm 30 năm, kỷ niệm 50 năm nữa. Và du lịch viên sẽ có cơ hội đồng hành cùng với toàn thể tất cả các anh chị. Gia đình chúng ta hãy dành một tràng pháo tay thật lớn quý vị. Và nhân đây Minh Trí xin mời anh Ngữ khui champagne để khai tiệc chương trình Gala Dinner trong buổi tối ngày hôm nay. Và Minh Trí cũng xin phép mời tất cả các anh chị chuẩn bị ly sẵn sàng. Thành viên nào mình có bia, mình chuẩn bị ly bia. Thành viên nào mình có nước ngọt, chuẩn bị ly nước ngọt. Và đặc biệt thành viên nào không uống bia, không uống nước ngọt, mình cũng chuẩn bị sẵn sàng ly nước suối của mình đi. Chúng ta sẽ nâng ly la vô một cái khí thế để cho chương trình Gala Dinner trong buổi tối ngày hôm nay anh khui luôn rồi hả anh? Xin mời tất cả các anh chị trên sân khấu, chúng ta mỗi thành viên cầm một ly quý vị nha. Và toàn thể tất cả các thành viên của công ty Phan chuẩn bị sẵn sàng quý vị ơi. Ly đâu, ly đâu? Yeah. Ly đâu, lật lớn lên, ly đâu? 1, 2, 3, go. Một lần nữa, ban tổ chức chúng tôi xin được phép cảm ơn toàn thể tất cả các anh chị. Chúc cho tất cả các thành viên nam trong buổi tối ngày hôm nay thì bao nhiêu nước soda tiền ra nhỏ giọt như cả thành viên.